Brian Wyatt from BABES Graphix, and this is
Jenn Zipper
and
Brittany,
and welcome to another episode of
Be Easy in the Streets.
I am super excited about this episode. It's Women's History Month, so it's all about the ladies. So I'm going to step out and let Jenn take the lead on this one because that is her lane.
Thanks, Brian. So this month our episode is super exciting. It is dedicated to Women's History Month and more specifically the boss babes that have made our community thrive. So this evening we are talking to 3 ultimate boss babes here in Tallahassee, and I can't wait for you to hear their story. It's going to be great.
Awesome.
Hello everyone, this is episode 3 of Be Easy in the Streets. We're here with 3 boss babes that have made Tallahassee thrive, and this is such an exciting episode because it's dedicated to Women's History Month, and I'm just so pleased to bring this here to you. I'm Jenn Zipper, and this is Brittany, and this is Boss Babes. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Just to start off, how about you just tell everyone who you are and what you do and why you're Boss Babe?
Well,
Start with Nicole, yeah.
I'm Nicole Everett. I host Conversations with Nicole, a talk show focused on connecting the community through conversation.
Awesome.
I'm Natalie Everett. I'm a freelance photographer, and I focus on working with businesses and brands for creating content for them and just helping them out with behind the scenes and things
Awesome.
like that.
So a little bit of what we do as well.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hi, my name is Kyndra Light, and I am the Executive Director for the Housing Leadership Council, Tallahassee-Leon County. I also own a construction company here in town called Precision Building and Renovating.
Awesome. That sounds like a panel of boss babes to me. I can't get over it. So, starting with Kyndra now at this side, what are 3 things that some people might not know about you or that you feel like really define you as a person and a business owner and an entrepreneur here in Tallahassee?
Well, something that people might not know about me is that I juggle a lot of hats. So I own a private company, I help run a nonprofit here in town, but I'm also a wife and a mom of 4 and very involved in my children's school and my church. So that is something that I love doing, and I love that aspect of staying connected to the community in lots of different ways.
Absolutely. Very cool. It sounds like you have your fingers in a lot of different pies and are really enjoying it.
Yes.
It's really awesome. All right, Natalie, 3 things that people might not know about you or you feel like define you.
Okay. 3 things. Well, I am heavily involved with my church. I basically am if it's going wrong, call my name.
Yeah.
So tech person at church. I also love to run. I'm involved in sports.
Yeah.
And then just hanging out with my family, being involved with my family. Those are the 3 things, that are important to me. I mean, that helped me, thrive. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nicole.
So 3 things that folks might not know about me is that I have a son that's 28.
Wow.
He's been gone from the Tallahassee area for about 11 years now, so that's why you probably wouldn't know about him. That I am very passionate about giving back, and there are a number of not only organizations but individuals that I give to on a regular basis. And I love the beach.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
I love the beach.
I
I love the beach.
Beach time sounds amazing right now.
Mhm.
So I know Nicole, you host a show.
I do.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So Conversations with Nicole started in March of 2016 as a video blog show and moved to television. We've done 7 seasons thus far. 5 of the 7 have been on the local Fox affiliate here in Tallahassee. And it's all about community connection and trying to showcase the gifts and talents of the folks here, and as well as just people all around the world.
Wonderful.
We've had several guests who have connected with people who have seen the episodes and saw some of the work that they've done. And to me, that's what it's all about. That makes it worthwhile
absolutely.
and meaningful.
Yeah, it's really great to have such a connection within such a connected city like Tallahassee. Like we were talking about earlier, like there's not much degrees of separation between everyone, especially if you grew up here, spent so much time here. It's a very interwoven community, and it really does, I feel like, foster business growth, especially with women, and supporting us in entrepreneurship and building those businesses that we have achieved. And I think it's really great to see it kind of culminating here. I know Brittany, Natalie is your friend, so maybe you want to talk to her a little bit about what she does in photography.
Sure. So, something that I really admire about you is that you made a total career shift and really took a step outside of your comfort zone to pursue what you love to do. And so, I want to hear a little bit about how you came to decide that, where you're at now, and what are some challenges that you have faced.
Okay. Well, photography was a 10-year hobby, and I always wanted to own my business and, make photographs and do things that I loved. And so when I turned 40, that was the deciding point. So it was just kind of like everything clicked and shifted, and it was just like, okay, it's kind of like it's now or never. You're going to make this change. And so I just stepped out there and did it. And then, I'm sorry, what was the second question? You're going to have to edit that.
Where are you at now?
Where am I at now? So I am in my 3rd year of business, and I am slowly making connections in the community, meeting people. Like I work for Fleet Feet, which is a running shoe store here, and so I've made connections through shooting events and things like that. So slowly starting to get out there, and would love to just connect more with people through photography and create more with people. And then what are some of the hardships?
Yeah, some challenges. that you've faced so far. And
Okay. Some of the challenges I've faced have been because there's so many photographers and so many people within arm's length of each other, it's kind of hard to figure out where you fit in and what your niche is, and what makes me different from this photographer or that photographer who's offering things. So that's been kind of like a challenge for me, is to figure out what can I offer that someone else down the road is offering too. So yeah, so it makes me unique, but yeah.
Gotta stand out.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring. Now, Kyndra, I do want to ask you a little bit more about your business and what you do. I know, like you said, you wear a lot of hats, so maybe describe a couple of those hats that you wear.
Sure. So kind of a unique myriad of roads that have brought me to where I am today. I started off not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do when I was in school. I'm sure a lot of us have been there before.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was passionate about helping people and about education and children. And so my graduate degree is in education from Florida State University. And when I graduated, I went into the education field, but at the same time, my husband and I started a construction company. And so I knew that I was good at kind of the business management side of things and running the books, and he was great at the, on-site construction and managing job sites. And so we kind of, operated in separate spheres within our company for a while. I worked in education, but also then for the Oasis Center for Women and Girls. I have a deep passion for helping girls to achieve and thrive within our community. In all of that, though, getting bits and pieces from different human service organizations and different people in the community about this great need that we have for housing. And working with single mothers and working with even teachers in the community who just couldn't make ends meet, and looking at where this gap is that we have when it comes to housing. And so, I'd sit up late nights talking with my husband over a glass of wine and, say, we've got this housing issue, this is a big problem. And he said, well, we kind of own this construction company and we might be able to do some research and look into this. And so we've been doing that, and there's going to be many exciting things happening throughout the year with precision building and renovating. But more importantly, the Housing Leadership Council. I was involved on the board of the Housing Leadership Council last year as a secretary, and just really became very connected to the mission of the Housing Leadership Council, which is really what we're all here and what we're really good at a lot of times as women, is that collaborative spirit. So the Housing Leadership Council was founded not to reinvent the wheel or take away anything from any organization, but to break down silos and bring people together so that we can do projects better, smarter, faster, and across different sectors too.
Yeah.
So I'm very passionate about that mission, and we have a summit coming up at the end of April that I'm very passionate about. So if you'll go to our website and check it out, you can learn more about it.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
What's that website address?
www.tlhhousing.org. You found out more about the organization and the summit.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wow, that little bit from each of you was so darn inspiring. So just not to hamper on the good vibes of everything, but when you think about being a female and being in business, there's going to be some obstacles that we have to overcome just because of society, even though we don't want it to be like that. Sometimes it's kind of an undertone there. So have any of you had any experiences that you've learned from that might have been helpful to women and they're a little bit nervous about starting a business as a female owner? Are there any lessons that you learned or any experiences that you have that might be useful for them?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest questions I get from time to time is, how did I get started? And, I have no journalism background. Actually, my background is affordable housing. I've worked in that field for more than 30 years.
Okay.
But, my advice is to just do it. Just get started in whatever it is you want to do, whether that's to start a blog or, write a book or whatever. Just start. That first step is typically the most difficult. But once you get moving in that direction, you can put that next foot forward, and then the next foot, and the next foot. So that momentum will build once you just get going. So just start.
Just gotta do it.
Ditto.
Great.
Ditto.
Absolutely.
And start.
Yeah, I would piggyback off of that, Nicole, and add that it's little steps along the way, and not allowing the small setbacks or even the big setbacks to discourage you from moving forward, because it will happen. That's how we grow, and stepping outside of the comfort zone. It's really scary. Even interviews and public speaking and all those kinds of things, they for me intimidate me, and I step into them regularly these days because I know that it helps me grow as an individual, but also helps the community connect. So
that's one of the questions I wanted to ask, was because you said there are often a lot of setbacks, and I know in business or whatever role you're in, there's always a setback.
Yeah.
What is one of the greatest challenges each of you have faced, and how did you overcome it? What were some of the tools, strategies, resources you used to overcome it? I guess go ahead.
Do you have one?
Honestly, right now, being so new in business, I can't really say I've really gone through a heavy setback. It's just actually just putting a foot in front of the other foot to keep going, and cold calling people if you have to, because I am not that. Like, I want to be on that side of the couch right now. So, but it, like, the challenge for me is putting myself out there more and more and feeling comfortable. And if you get a no, go to the next person, and it's not a complete defeat. You just keep going. So,
What's a comfort zone?
Yeah, there are none. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
What about you, Nicole? What was your biggest challenge? How did you overcome it?
Probably getting over fear, and that's something that I still, have to manage from time to time. So I think just helping to build my confidence in myself and my ability to do what I'm called to do, and what I believe I'm called to do, and walking on purpose, and not so comparison, I think, is a big enemy of ours. We tend to look at other people and think, I wish I had, or what they have, or was doing what they're doing, instead of focusing on myself and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I try not to get caught up into comparisons, but just try to be my best self.
Yeah. That's wonderful, actually. It's really hard these days with, like, I work in social media and I love social media, but there's also that dark side of social media that, gets into the comparison of yourself to others, and, it's definitely detrimental to thinking and, like, your self-confidence. I know I went through a time where I didn't want to release any of my ideas just because I was like, oh, I'm doing it too late, it's not going to be big enough, like, I don't have enough followers, like, just everything that I was talking myself out of doing it. You just got to wake up one morning, like, no, it's about me, like, I'm just going to do it. Exactly. And I think that's just one of the most important things for people to latch onto, especially women who are starting their own ventures and they're following their passions and everything, because, like, thinking that society's going to get you down will let society get you down. So if you just don't think like that, I mean, but easier said than done, of course. But I think, yeah. Yes. Yeah. But it's definitely going through the process of growing up as a young female adult, and then, like, getting into things like this, and then going on camera with episodes like this. Never in 100 years would I imagine I've only been alive for 22, but you get my point. But it's just kind of fun to see how things change and evolve, and just kind of like taking it and running with it. It just makes it so much fun.
I think as women, we have to combat some of the you can't because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can't because you should be doing this instead.
Exactly. So, we are breaking a lot of those gender roles in terms of what we should be able to do and what we shouldn't be able to do. So I think we just have to keep pushing forward in that direction.
It's just what girls do.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Kyndra, I don't think we gave you a chance to answer the question about.
Oh, that was. I'm trying to think. Biggest challenge. I would have to say it's very similarly along the lines of what Nicole say. The fear. A lot of it is the who am I to be able to do this? And so a lot of times I have to go back to. So there's two things. It's the who am I to be able to do this, and then thinking, no, God chose you for a reason to do this, and back to the idea of leading from a servant's position. So a lot of times I think that there's a big difference in coming at it from an egotistical position of I'm in power and therefore I'm supposed to do this, rather than I can help people if I will step outside of my comfort zone and lead that way. And so I think that helps me a lot. And then it also the other challenge is the goals and the expectations that I place on myself versus the expectations that others place on me. And so I set very high expectations and goals for myself, and when I don't meet those, I can beat myself up about it. And I'm sure we all can do that. And one of the ways that I've gotten through that is that I keep two journals. I keep one that's just like my journal, and then I keep a professional journal of like what's going on in my life, my business, and what I've got going on in my days. And when I get to that point where I'm like, oh, I should be doing this and that, and I go back and I look at the journal and I just see how far I've come so far. And it gives me this like, oh wow, this time last year I was still like even just trying to get this idea off the ground, and now here we are and we have investors and this and that, and so it just it helps, and sometimes you are your biggest motivator.
And our biggest enemy, our motivator. I feel like our personal selves sometimes are what stand in the way the most of what we want to do, and like what we tell ourselves, and just getting out of our own heads, I think, is the biggest thing. I know it's my biggest struggle is to just stop thinking in my head. Stop.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I've ridden horses pretty much all my life, and then my horse passed away when I was in high school or something like that, and I got out of it for a little bit, and I had always wanted to restart going back into riding and being competitive and things like that, and all of a sudden, like, horses just kind of came back into my life, and this horse basically fell into my lap, and he was a good price, so it was kind of like, why not? Like, and then, things happen with, the saddle not fitting him properly. I know I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but it links back to, like, when I started back with horses, I forgot the time it takes and the commitment that it takes. Even though I had done it before, it had been a few years, and I was just really eager to get back into it. And I was beating myself up because, these things were stepping in the way of his training, and then, him doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I had to stop myself and be like, no, this is another living animal. Like, this takes time and patience, and giving myself that little bit of slack and not being so hard on myself was something that has really made me a lot happier. And I think that's the best advice that I can give to anyone, is just get out of your head and just do what makes you happy. And that's just like really what matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
What has been the most rewarding part of pursuing your passion as your career?
So for me, I think it's just walking on purpose, So starting conversations with Nicole, again, was nothing that I ever imagined. It just kind of happened based on some other things that I was doing that were very similar. And somebody suggested that I do a blog, and I didn't even know what a blog was. And so in walking that out, it was very nervous. I was very nervous about it. It's a little nerve-wracking because, again, the cameras and the lights, and I wasn't used to all of that. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I became with it, such that now I don't feel comfortable if I'm not doing it. So I think the rewarding part for me is, walking in and on purpose, and again, the connectivity for me, connecting the people, them finding out about somebody that they didn't know, or maybe they knew that person, but there were certain aspects of their lives that they didn't know about. So I think that, we human beings have probably more alike than we do different, and I really hope that we focus more on our commonalities than we do our differences.
Walk on purpose.
I think for me, what's rewarding, for me, what's rewarding is connecting with clients and like doing what they wanted, and like to see, that smile on your face, or like, hey, that's amazing or awesome, like that right now is rewarding. So, once I get seasoned like these two, something else may be different, but like right now it's just making those small connections and, knowing that, it just builds on top of each other. So,
That's great.
For me, when you find that niche and you work within your passion, I find that for one, I'm not burnt out as often. I don't get tired as often because it doesn't feel like work. It fuels me. It fills me up, and so I find that I'm able to kind of feel like I'm achieving that work-life balance a little bit better, which for a lot of women can be very difficult. But that's kind of the so I don't get as burnt out as easily.
That just reminded me of a quote from a song that is by a band called Dirty Hands or something like that. But the quote is, "I'm on vacation because I'm on vacation every day because I love my occupation." And it's just kind of like loving what you do. It's not really work, and you're going to make money doing that. The clients are going to be happy, your business is going to be successful. It just like all comes back to that personal happiness and finding your passion, and really just going for it and not really giving a damn what anyone else has to say about it. I think that's just the core of what we're trying to get at here for this episode, is that like we can do anything really. That's wonderful. So to wrap it up, I want to ask each of you, is there a boss babe that isn't here today that you would like to give a shout out to?
Wow, there are way too many.
Yeah.
As many as you can think of.
Oh, I don't want to name one and you forget one.
I have two I can think of. Well, recently I just started working with Elle Michelle Savant, and she runs Elle Michelle Media. It's a local like marketing social media company here. So she is doing the most in everything. She's got her hand in social media. She's also doing a film behind the scenes. Yeah, so she's trying to get a Snapchat documentary into a film festival, and so she recorded basically from 39 to 40 on Snapchat glasses. So that's cool. But yeah, she's awesome. She just does everything. And then one of my clients I work with, Britt knows her, name is Maylise, and Maylise Rodriguez, and she runs Maylise Joy Blog. So Maylise has been doing this for almost 3+ years, and she is amazing. Mom of 3, gets it done, runs her business. She's a boss babe. So yeah,
love it.
But yeah,
Very cool. Kyndra, Nicole, any boss babes to give a shout out to?
So sure. Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
They lovingly call me Tallahassee Oprah. So I am seeking to be a media mogul like Oprah.
Fantastic.
And then Ayanla Van Zandt.
Okay, cool.
Who has her own show, Ayanla Fix My Life. I am very much so concerned about people and them being healed and well and that sort of thing. So I consider myself a combination between Ayanla and Oprah because I'm very concerned about
in touch with everyone.
Yes,
exactly.
In
a unique way.
Yes.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
Well, there are so many that I can think of, and including the wonderful women that I'm sitting with today. But I would say Erica McKibben, who is running Maxim Strategies here in town. She is also former director for the Housing Leadership Council, and she's still working as the event chair for the Tallahassee Housing Summit that's upcoming. And she is just, I mean, when you talk about getting stuff done, she is just on top of it all the time. And I really appreciate the work that she does within our community and also for the Housing Leadership Council. And then I would have to say Monique Ellsworth with Second Harvest. She is doing really wonderful work out there. I'm always watching her on social media out there, like not only running this amazing organization that is providing food for the needy in our community, but also, you know, out at farm fields and harvesting bok choy and all kinds of wonderful things. And so looking at, you know, kind of not only just, you know, giving food out, but the food supply issues that we have and fresh nutrition for our community. So I really appreciate the work of both of those women.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much. It's been such a delight to talk to you all and hear about all of your successes and your advice for women in business and how y'all have just really been boss babes throughout the whole thing. So again, thank you very much, everyone. This is a wrap on episode 3 dedicated to Women's History Month. Bye.